this already, all showers have low flow, like, blockers in them.
Mhm.
When you buy a new shower head, take it and, like, beat it out with, like, a screwdriver, and it
Mhm.
is it's so good. And compared to the RV, it's like night and day difference. I'm so happy. It's the best shower I've ever taken in my life.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back in your own place.
Yeah, it's good. Like, today, I was working in the garage, and, like, I was actually enjoying working on the car, which I haven't in a while, and,
Mhm.
I was prepping everything, and, like, I would go from in the house and, like, walk right out my door and be at the car, as opposed to driving an hour to go work on it and an hour back.
All
Nice.
right, we're live, guys.
Hell
I
yeah.
was not in the studio. Sorry about that. I
No, it's okay.
logged myself out, came back in. So yeah, our fans got a nice discussion of high flow showers.
Yeah.
Hey, that is valuable
It's
consumer advice.
Yeah,
everybody
I
should
mean,
know about the flow restriction devices in their shower
look,
heads.
look, if you get the wrong shower at Summit Point, like you are in for a world of hurt. Because like there's a couple showers at Maine and at Shenandoah that just have craptastic flow, and
Yes,
Mhm.
I hate them. So yeah, no, shower flow is definitely an important thing.
it is. When you have beautiful locks like I have, you gotta get a good, can't have remaining conditioner in there.
No. Yep.
Well, we're back, guys. It's been a while.
Yeah,
When was
Been
the
a
last
while.
time we were on here and did a show? It's
March?
almost was it March, really? Oh,
I think
Yeah.
so.
I
Before
was gonna say like 2 months, and then
it's
Andrew
been a
goes
minute.
and makes it like three for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before the season had started.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, the season had started because we did instructor clinic. That was probably the last one, actually. Now that I think about it.
Did we do instructor clinic?
No, we didn't. Oh
No,
my
we didn't.
gosh.
We never talked. That's another thing that we can
No.
talk about right now. We have a ton of new
Mm,
instructors in the region.
do have a ton of
Um,
new instructors in the region.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last show was comp
pre-season,
school,
like
wasn't it?
pre-season. Yeah, it
It
was
was
comp
comp
school.
school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
just the sheer amount of things that have happened in the last 3 months is pretty staggering, right? Like how
It
many
is.
records have been broken,
Yeah.
A
you
lot.
know, blazing fast times,
Yeah.
spectacular crashes, like the whole thing. Like people's lives are different now than they were 3 months ago.
People's lives are different now. Yes.
And I know we shouldn't joke about the spectacular crashes, but none of them, knock on wood,
Yeah.
have happened in a time session this year, which is good. I mean, it's been a great season so far, right? Like
It has.
we've had, I mean, you called it out, Andrew. We've had some fast drivers. We have some really good competition in a bunch of the classes, and everybody seems to be having fun.
I think
So
the new rules this year uh, greatly exceeded even my expectations, especially in the max categories. Like all of them across the board seem to be doing quite well and have more or less nailed their intended targets, right? Like there's no crazy outliers or major over underdogs. Like it's fairly close
yeah,
to power to weight. So as long as you're within that realm, like you're guaranteed some competition.
yeah,
Yeah. Like the only issue that we had with national rule set was one that kind of applied to our region, right? Was Max 6. And we
Hmm.
just kind of took care of it on our own. I think it worked out great.
yeah.
We haven't had,
It's worked out great.
yeah,
Hmm.
I don't think we've had a single issue. The upper max classes, I think, are better now. You know what I mean? Max 3, 2, 1. I think
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, the big classes, for us are
five
max 5, tuner
and
4.
tuner 4
Yeah,
Sport
yeah. The
three.
upper max,
or 3.
sport
Yeah,
3. Yeah, yeah. We still, I think, struggle to find some cars for that max 1, max 2, max 3 class.
yeah,
I think most of those classes are just one competitor, maybe two if we get lucky a weekend. But
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think as one of the Miata drivers, I looked at it. I looked at the new rule set and was like, man, this sucks. But you know, like you said, you know, we took care of it locally, and
Yeah, and I think it works too.
yeah, it's all worked. I mean, Max 5 in our region is just
It's
bonkers.
insane. Yeah,
It is absolutely bonkers.
it's
So,
fast.
so Patrick, this is what I was going to talk to you about, telling you how pissed I was about Max 5. Is that I broke the old Max 4 Summit Main record. I smashed it, and I still came in 6th place.
Yeah,
Isn't that
I mean,
nuts?
but that just shows you how much, because last year that record was set and it was like it was the end all be all, right? Like we all thought that was a great time, and then look how much
22s. Oh my
how much
God.
yeah, look how much faster every single person in the
Yeah.
class has gone 2 seconds faster this year, roughly.
I went a second faster, and then everybody went faster from there. So
Yeah,
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
What
a
was your
lot.
fastest time last year, Patrick?
22,
22.4, 22.7,
4,
something like
yeah,
that.
27,
And you dropped to 19 at the 3-day?
yeah, 19.73, which people told me that it was impossible, but I had the thought in the back of my head, like, I think it is possible. I think I can do it, and it just,
Yeah, you
the stars aligned.
you forever have a one up on Trey because he said 19 wasn't possible, and then
I
you
wasn't going to
went.
call him out because he's not here to defend himself, but Trey did say that it was not possible and that I was crazy for thinking it.
But let me add, Trey did tune your car, so he can claim partial responsibility for that.
Yeah, he
Is that,
can.
is that how that works?
You know
He
what?
tuned it.
I'll say, and
Go ahead.
I'll defend him here a little bit and say that he was just using that as motivation for you, right? Like
Yeah.
he was
There we go.
trying to spite you into going to do it.
I think so because this off season, him, me, and Sean spent a lot of time redoing a lot of things on that car to make it more reliable, right?
Hmm.
And it's definitely worked. Trey, Sean, both busted their ass on the car, and it has been
What
just
all went into it over the off season, reliability wise?
um, redoing a lot of wiring, tune stuff, electric power steering because I kept blowing power steering pumps from overclocking them with the Cage series
Mm-hmm.
because it was a forward power steering pump that was designed to be operated at much lower RPM. Alternator, we did some alternator stuff, a bunch of like wiring things, and then the only performance upgrades were we did a OS Geiken, a diff, and then we went with two-way fuel shocks instead of single-way fuel
Okay.
shocks and coilovers.
All right. Which
But
coilovers did you go with?
the Feel 442s, because they're a great price point and they work pretty well.
So the national rules have worked out. I think we all agree.
Yeah, national work great.
Yeah. Pit race end of season, Max 5. I just have this feeling Max 5 is going to be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be.
can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be a lot. There should be a lot of us there, and then
Yeah.
we know Lyle will be there. He's a WDCR guest. Hopefully, the other heavy hitters in the class will come out and run it.
I'm excited to see Lyle versus Patrick round 2. That's what I want to see.
I don't think I can cover Lyle if he comes back and does a third or a fourth day at Maine because I mean look at what he ran in
Yeah, I know, right? Like
2 days there.
he was 4/10 off in a slower car. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Was that his first weekend on Maine? He had never been to Maine before?
Nope,
Really?
he'd never been to Maine.
iRacing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
just iRacing.
Jeez.
Yeah, Lyle's a great driver.
Drivers.
So,
Some drivers are just so good.
yeah, he's a great driver.
All
I
right,
don't know
so
how to do
that's
that.
national rule changes. We made some changes locally. How do we feel about those? So points and scoring is new.
Points are, whatever, right? Like not whatever, but it is what
Points
it
are
is. Like, yeah, we all
okay.
agreed to them at the beginning. They're not working. I enjoy the 2-day thing. I know Patrick disagrees, but I enjoy the 2-day thing because it allows for different weather conditions to matter throughout the weekend. But
You can't win a weekend on one day.
no. But that's not technically the spirit of Time Attack, so I see where he's coming from.
I think that's the whole idea, right? Like, that's the whole premises of it. It's just fastest lap time. It doesn't matter when it's set, how it's set, as long as it's on a sanctioned period of time that we're doing HP. Which this brings on another topic, right? We were talking about this the other day, and I would love for I don't know. Maybe this is the wrong time to bring this up, especially with Kevin.
No, you already started it.
Okay.
Can't
I've
be
got
done
thick
now.
skin.
Spotlight's
I
on you.
I would love for time trials to be involved with the road racing weekend, and then it just be like open lapping, like the track is open between this point and this point. Don't drop four off. There's no single start. Go out when you have clear track. Set the time. Record the time. Kind of like a time attack event in Japan. Like those are just ran like open days, right? Like it's literally hot lapping or open track. You go out as long as the grid marshal says you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest issue of that is it's really just the schedule and the track
Yeah,
calendar,
it's
right?
scheduled.
Like
HPDE's busy weekend and road racing is a busy weekend. If in a dream world, Time Attack was standalone and it was just open track all day.
One day we'll get that big and be that cool.
Yeah.
There he is. He's back. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about that I think has gone swimmingly well the few times we tried it was the split sessions.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it did go really well. Even with me running it very poorly, I think
you did not run it poorly.
I think it went great. I loved it. And then I heard nothing but like positive feedback. Like honestly, there was like one or two voices of
there were some
instructors
people who didn't like it as much, but I think in my opinion the good outweighs the bad there, right? Like if we all work together, it minimizes traffic issues, right? Like I think an argument can be made that some of the reasons that those fast cars that you were mentioning earlier, Kevin, haven't shown up is because they might be worried about SCCA has a lot of slower cars that we run with. So if somebody brings 1,000 horsepower Corvette, they're gonna run into them at some point, unless we have a split session where the Miatas go with the Miatas and the Corvettes go with the Corvettes.
Yeah, no, it's worked out. I think the feedback on the surveys for it was really I don't think we got any like negative "don't do this again" feedback on the actual survey itself.
That's good.
Yeah, like the feedback, the negative feedback I got was in-person feedback that weekend.
Okay.
So I think we have a few questions we need to answer for leadership. I think the big one we need to figure out is what happens if there's an incident in Group A, because we are talking 10-minute sessions.
Yeah.
The likely answer there is Group B loses track time, which with this methodology, or the TTers are already kind of losing track time, right? Because we are cutting the sessions in half, taking away we're taking away the warm up and all that. But Andrew, I tend to agree with you that I think, especially at Maine, where we are always maxed out on cars.
Yeah.
The benefits outweigh any negatives, to it.
100%.
And we just need to figure out some of those questions that we need to answer. And I think there's, we just haven't talked about them, but I think there's answers. We can answer those questions. I don't think it's a difficult lift.
Aside from magically adding time to the schedule, I think this is the best.
Yeah.
Yep. I think, it worked well when we tried it. I think there are answers to those questions that leadership poses. Maybe if Group A causes the wreck, Group A loses its time, something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's got to be
Somebody-
something, right?
Yeah, somebody proposed, I can't remember who it was now, but the other potential thing you could do, there's a bit of management overhead to it, but do it, because when we did it in 3-day, right? We did group A, group B, group A, group B, group A, group B. So do you go A, B, B, A, B, B, and kind of, does that make, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
But,
that makes perfectly fine sense.
So here's a question for you both, in terms of changes for this year. Speed Hive. What do we think of Speed Hive? How's Speed Hive gone? Do we love it?
oh my god,
We love it, right?
Yeah, nothing but good things to say about it. It's worked flawlessly. There's never been any headaches. Nobody's ever had anything to complain about.
There has to be something we can do, like just internally, like
Yeah.
a live schedule. Like we have to be able. We have some really smart people in the region, including Andrew and Kevin. You're both of yourselves. I mean, there has to be something we can do, right?
I think at the Jefferson event we finally figured it out. So let's go back to last year, right? We had Race Hero, and the way Race Hero worked was whenever a session finished and we ran our merge, we'd run a grid merge, and Race Hero would automatically push it up. So you got, we would see the grid for the next session 5 minutes after we finished up.
Yeah, as soon as
we
you
could look at our
publish the
thing.
grid results. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing about Speed Hive I don't understand. My Laps wanted to use, which to their credit, they're free to do that. Like wanted to use their own thing that links with transponders, right? So, it's like their, HPDE social media, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so we run our merges, they don't automatically upload to Speed Hive. And I'm like, you make both of these pieces of software. Like, why does this not automatically upload to Speed Hive? Like, I shouldn't have to press the button to upload it. It's so. I think I need to get on the phone with them and either see are we missing something here, or is this a feature that you didn't think about? Because it is mind-boggling that in 2025 that stuff doesn't automatically upload to their
we
servers.
have to be able to get a training class or something, right? Like there has to be some kind
we
of
have multiple. We have the region has multiple licenses with MyLabs for orbit.
We spend money with them, they should support it, right?
Yeah. But to your point, Andrew made, we ran the live schedule, or not live schedule,
the live
grid, and I think it worked great.
Yeah,
I think it did too.
It is. Lauren did help me out quite a bit with that. I just want to give her credit.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah. It is embarrassing though that whatever we, ghetto rigged in Excel and Google Sheets is better than an allegedly professional piece of software.
We shouldn't have to do it, I think, is the point.
The thing is,
I really boil it down.
I feel like that it should work that way, right? Like I feel like Speed Hive should work that way, but there has to be something that we're not doing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And that it's taken us this many events to at least get to this point.
To even figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. We've gone through a bunch of things and it's just, it has not been a smooth transition.
No. Speed Hive is terrible. I really like the split sessions. I like using the whiteboard. I think it's worked out really well for helping when it's busy at the front of the grid.
Yep.
I like the live grid sheet. I think all these are really quality of life improvements that we've made to help try to cover the Speed Hive.
And the whiteboard thing is so nice because I can just if I'm working grid one session, I just walk down the grid. I don't have to stop. It's just look at the sheet, confirm we're good. It's so nice.
I think
that was a you idea. That was good.
I think the only other thing that I would like to try to is we don't get a lot of people watch it on Speed Hive on their phone, right? But they're either in TT or like TT adjacent, like people's
Yeah.
lives and stuff. I would like to put up like live scoring somewhere, like on a laptop or something, or on like a TV screen in one of the classrooms. I think that would be fun, or like in one of the canopies or Kubota, or what do you call that? Not a Kubota. That's a tractor.
I mean, we could. Well, the only issue with the
Easy up.
classrooms would be, it would have to get
classroom.
disconnected when Jeff
Yeah.
or Baron or
Just a place
Brian
where
are
people
teaching.
can like
What?
stand
No, I like that. Like,
and
I think that's
watch
cool.
and see the scoring.
I think it's another way, I think where we are, and this is one thing I think Matt and I struggled with, when we took over the program from Josh and Scott, and still trying to kind of figure out, like, one, when is the right time to start socializing TT within the greater HPDE paddock? Two, how do we do that? Like, what's the proper way to do that? I think Jeff has started a good thing in his classroom at the end of the season, where we come in and kind of talk about, hey, this is what TT is, and then we kind of focus on, and we recognize you're an intermediate. Some of you are probably close to becoming advanced. Some of you in that bracket are probably interested in TT. Here are the things you want to think about in terms of, what have I already done to my car? Because, let's be honest, we all start modifying our cars right
immediately
away
before we even know about classes. Yeah.
Two, how does that affect your classing if you are in TT?
Exactly.
I
look
think,
how fast these guys are going with stock suspension, factory calipers.
I think we like to use what was it, maybe it was 2 years ago now, when Ryan Smigelski kind of brought up this, like, was asking him how to class himself, and everybody was shocked. It's like, wait, you're in an NA Miata and you're going to be max 2? But yeah, because built motor, 1 class bump, turbocharger, 2. So that's that takes you from max 5, sorry, up to max 3. No, max 2. That's right, 3 class bump. Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain is shutting down. I can't add.
So I have a question for both of you. Across the board, at the tippy top of our classes, everybody is like just savage killers, right? Like they are running lap times that are so fast.
Yeah.
How do you make TT approachable to somebody who's just joining and somehow has to contend with that, right? Like, let's say somebody picks up a brand new GR86, right? The Sport 4 times are what, in the, what are they? 23s, 24, 24s.
Yeah.
24.5 in a bone stock-ish GR86 is a hilarious lap time that would take a normal person probably a couple years to get to the point where they could actually do that. Is there anything we can do to make TT a little more approachable and still fun and competitive for somebody who's just joining?
I mean, I think that's the goal, but I've actually never considered that, Andrew. So that's a really good question. Patrick, go ahead.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword thing, right? Like, you want it to be fun, but I think part of the fun for people that really like TT is like the competitiveness and striving to get to that point. To have a target to shoot for, and like that's the whole idea that I like. When I go out, I want to be the fastest person there. I don't want to have to like nerf anything or like have something handed to me. You know what I mean? Like I want to go do it.
Well, so what I'm thinking is, like, how do we speed run that person who's just joining to get to that pace, right? Like,
that's the part, right? Like, number one, that has to be internal. You have to be driven, and number two,
like what if we brought DGC to TT?
Classes, What if you bought one?
What if we brought DGC to TT, right? Like, it's in advanced right now. but there
Right.
isn't a way for it to get in there. There's no, I mean, we've talked about it and we have our Discord, but I feel like there's ways like at the event, like we could do DGC or data comparisons even, between competitors. Like, we have tons of data of stock GR86s at Summit, Maine, and
Yeah.
somebody who's just bringing theirs, we should be able to, we could have ways we could coach them up to be like, oh, here's 2 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, and then like also too, I think the thing that like helps get people like up to speed and like you know sharing data and stuff, besides just the data guided coaching, is like this year Max has been Max 5. I'm just this is my favorite class. I'm going to be biased towards it. I'm going to talk about it a lot. We've all come together a lot more as a class and like
Hmm.
talked about things more and like
Yeah.
been
Even in like the
more
paddock, we've been,
friends. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Like a lot of us
So
paddock together. We,
Yep.
I was doing data with Donald at the 3-day, just like,
yeah, I
he's like,
think
how
that
the hell?
matters a
Yeah.
lot, is having a community that
Mhm.
talks and shares ideas. Data guided coaching is just a tool to make people do that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like we need to work on our community. I think that'll help bring people up to speed, right? Like make the events more fun and more involved a TT. Like I hate when I go to a TT event and then I get there, I unload. There's nobody around me that I know. I go on the track, I drive. I never know the people's names around me. I never know. Besides, I see their bumper or their headlights in my mirrors. Uh, I don't want that at events. I want to, get out of the car and ask Andrew why he held me up over here and then like how he was so fast through this section and then like I want to ask Andrew about his like video or like you know what I mean like I want to have a more of a community approach in our TT and that's how you make everybody in that group faster is to make them
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
friends and to share ideas and
Hmm.
I
kind of
would
come
ask a
together.
question though. Does the DGC side of it get to what you're asking, Andrew? Because I think what I heard in your question is more how do we overcome maybe what is intimidation on the behalf of a new TT driver, when they're coming in first event ever, let's say Summit Point, Maine, and we have Justin Peachy and David Kramer out there just smashing around the track at
Yeah.
113
Or-
and 114.
Yeah, or Carwin running 14s at
Or
Jefferson.
Carwin running
Yeah,
14s at Jefferson,
yeah.
which is
It's
absolutely
it's insane.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sport car.
No,
It's
that
a,
was a tuner car, wasn't it?
Oh wait, hold on.
I think it
Yeah.
is a turn
You
car.
might be
Yeah.
you.
I
Yes, I
think he
think you're
did like
right.
But it's
NCSs.
pretty
No,
it's
that doesn't
pretty I
matter.
think
Yeah,
it's
it was just.
underprepared for a tuner car, if I
Yeah,
remember
it
correctly.
still is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
I
take
don't.
anything away from him. Like,
It's
that
a
is
Yeah.
a
it's a dumb lap.
balloony time.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
he
They
ran.
don't care.
You're correct. He ran tuner at that event, but
yeah.
he's ran that car in sport this year. So I
Uh
don't.
huh.
Yeah.
I.
I think the only
I.
thing he's changed is like
He's done coilovers, I think.
yeah, coilovers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really mean a lot on Jefferson. It's probably better on the stock suspension.
Well, you say that, but then it's Brian Carwin, and he owns like the suspension company,
Yeah.
right? So like, he makes his own sway bars, he builds his
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
shocks. Like, there's
Yeah.
probably some time in that knowledge of how to set up shocks,
Yeah,
and
you're
that
probably
track's bumpy as hell. So
it
It
is.
is.
the
Yeah.
I
suspension
think
does matter.
yeah.
Yeah. Um.
I don't know, man. That's a good question because we have, some new advanced drivers that are going to be, looking at coming to TT soon, right? Like
Yeah.
we both know one in particular. I want them to be part of the community, which I think we've already kind of done, with
Yeah, I
this
think.
with this one person. I think we've already like talked to them, but you know, I agree. We should have,
So I
like a
think for me, the community is nearly there, right? Like the time
yeah,
trials Discord is the most active. There's a lot of discussion there about things that are going on.
yeah,
I was just, like, what if we use one of the time trial meetings like that go
Yeah.
on through the day? Like, what if we, borrowed 10 minutes from that just to be like, here's a good way to go through turn 4 or something
Yeah.
yeah,
like that.
And I
yeah,
think that's the next step, right? Because like right now we just use that as kind of like what's going well, what's not going well. And really, we just use it as a debrief, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be, I think, yeah, like we need to be more like the classroom sessions where we're actually focusing on real stuff that matters to us. So yeah, for next year, I think that's
Do you
gonna be a
have like
focus.
rookie season drivers attend mandatory classrooms or something? Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
these are all ideas to approach this, right?
yeah. And that's the other thing, right? Like, how do you balance that? Like, yes, we have brand new TTers versus, guys like us who've been doing this for a couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
there's a happy medium somewhere. I don't know what it is yet. So for any of you listening out there, if you have an idea, drop it in Discord so we can.
Also, too, how do we get even more people? Like, how do we grow more TT drivers? Because I want even more people. I want it to be forced to where we have to have like a standalone event. I want 50 TT cars registered. I want,
Mm.
what can we do to bring more people into RTT? Like, that's what we need to be thinking about. We need to be talking to people. We need to, yeah.
Well, I
I don't know.
think the 86 club, I think, kind of does. You guys go to, like, Andrew, you do
Yeah.
stuff with the 86 club. You guys go to like Cars and Coffee and show off the cars, right? So like maybe we do that. Like a bunch of us TTers get together at one of the Cars and Coffees and just hang out, answer questions, and this is who we are. This is what we do. This is where we do it.
Sure.
Yeah. I
Here's
think
how you get started.
I think that's something too, and then I think we should change the name to something more recognizable.
Well, I
So
think
time attack instead of time
yeah,
trials.
yeah. They, I think
I think
they kind of
National made the
announced
same
that a
move,
bit
right?
late. Yeah, they announced
Yeah,
that a bit late because they announced that what, like February? Yeah,
yeah,
because it was
right,
at the
right before the season
yeah, it
started.
was at the national convention. So yes, next year we will. I mean, so long as John keeps that name,
Yeah,
we will match nationals and was it time attack? I mean, it won't be time attack challenge because that's what they are, but
yeah, but
or
time
maybe it'll be
attack. I mean,
WDCR time attack challenge. I don't know.
yeah, I think that's how most people know time trials is like time attack from watching YouTube videos of Japanese time attack cars.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could just be WDCR Monaco race because we all know that qualifying is the true race for Monaco. And the
Yeah,
race is
qualifying
just as
tourists
great.
from Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would also work.
All right.
No,
So you mentioned car one. Let's talk about some fast cars and fast times. So we might as well start off with Brian.
yeah,
And at our last
that's
event 2 weeks ago, a 1 minute. Hold on, let me. I have it open here. A 1 minute 14.940 at Jefferson.
yeah. I don't know how because that track is. I don't understand. That track is. I don't understand how it.
That
Yeah.
is the third fastest time on our sheet,
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
2 unlimited classes.
Yeah. One of them being an Exocet, which weighs about 3 pounds
Yeah.
and was turbocharged. So yeah. Yeah, so Martin Kriz has the fastest time at Jefferson, 1:13.844 in an Exocet. God, Sean's time has stood forever in that LS swapped 240X. God, 2020 that record has stood since
2020.
1:14.321, and then Brian 1:14.9.
I kind
So
of
that's
doubt the track
third.
has gotten better in those years, too.
No.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
no.
It has not.
God, I was only at the event on Saturday, and what was it? I was at my daughter Whitney had at a field hockey tournament, and just between games, I opened up my phone and went to Speed Hive, and the first thing I saw was at 1:14.
Yeah.
I did a double take on it. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Mostly just stock Supra, right? Like,
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
pretty
not an
simple.
LS Swap 240, not an Exocet, just a car you can buy off the showroom, throw some nice
Wait.
coils on, and a driver mod,
yeah,
and he went
Yeah.
that fast.
Weighs much less than a 240, right? Like that's
More.
that's impressive, man. Or much more. Thank
yeah,
you.
much more. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had another fast time in Max 5 at Jefferson and
Oh,
Foster. Just dropped a
yeah.
1:17.7. That was the other one that stuck out to me.
It's almost a
kooky.
second faster. And the more impressive thing was not just that was a fast time, it's that was his first time at the track.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That was day. Yeah. Set that on day 2 at the track.
You gotta golf clap that.
100%.
That's impressive.
Yeah, 'cause, he struggled with. I think we've all known he struggled with pace a little bit this year, and
Foster?
I don't know what.
I
You
wouldn't
don't
No.
think
call,
so? Because
I
he
wouldn't
was
call it was a
faster. He struggled at Maine for
No, he
sure.
didn't. No, he
Yeah.
was no. He was in the deep 21s. He was
Was he in
like,
deep 21s?
yeah. No.
Okay.
Foster's fine. Like he
I
knows.
thought he struggled with pace this year.
No, he's fine.
No.
I think
No,
I
he's
told
running 660s and wants more laps. That's what it is.
no, he was running like the 660 pluses at Maine and dropped like a 21, like a deep 21,
Deep 21.
beating everybody who was on Vtors and yokes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Foster's
know,
quick.
yeah. So he's got another, I don't know, second in tires just sitting there, and so, yeah, he's doing great this year.
And he's still F powered.
And he's still F powered. Like he's about to be K swap, so he's there's time in his car, and he's just getting to unlocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That everything is
those are
fast.
Fast
Like,
times.
That's
I just want to
really
convince him
quick.
to put a muffler on his car. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should we compliance query him for that bumper at the next event?
If you want a compliance query,
The
I think we should give
lack
him-
of bumper.
I
if
think
you want a
you could
compliance query, query him for his interior. But
Let's see. All right. Let's go back over to Maine. Let's start with Max 5 again. Mr. Harvey, you set a pretty quick time at Maine this year, huh?
Yeah, it worked out really, really good.
119.7.
Yeah, 119.7. I was trying to run away from Lyle and everybody else all weekend. Carlos, Andrew. I struggled with pace until I squeezed out one good lap, and then
that was a pretty magic day. Like, we all kind of, it's day 3 of the third day. We all kind of, had been saving our stuff, learning over the previous 2 days, and then, the weather was right, the track was right, and like the first warm up session, we all come back in, we're like, holy crap, this track is fast.
Yeah,
and
it was really fast.
Yeah,
Because did it rain or what happened? Did it rain or something?
It was
and then
raining
it
the
like
day
dried.
before.
Yeah, it was raining the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got TT session 1, and then we had the chaos of the intermediate, first intermediate session.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's right, with the car flipped.
Yeah. So you guys were able to sneak that in.
We squeezed. We got our first session, and then
Yeah, that was such a good
and
event.
Then chaos happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great event.
Such a fun weekend, man.
Yeah.
I had a really good weekend. And everybody
going back to Jefferson, I do want to highlight somebody else set a record in Max 5 at Jefferson on Saturday.
Yeah.
In the warm-up session.
Yeah.
Who was that?
We love you, Carlos.
Carlos.
Oh yeah.
Sorry it didn't count.
Carlos as just keeps. Yeah, Carlos is
he's second in points right now.
Yeah, he's second place in championship. He's looking really, really good for this winning this season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Max 5, going real quick to points. Patrick, you're up top with, and this is with, we are already into drops, right? So you're at 54, Carlos 41, Mike, Andrew, Foster 36, 32, 30. Like it's tight.
Like, so question for the TT lead: how many people have to score points after drops for a championship to count?
So a good question. Actually, so the qualifier for championships is not based on drops. That is based on aggregate. So it is still 2 drivers exceeding 75 points
before drops.
Before drops.
Okay.
Yeah. If Mr. Harvey drove Dominion this coming in 2 weeks, Max 5 would very likely qualify for championship this year.
Why? He's already over 70.
Well, 75.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Carlos should
Carlos
theoretically
needs
hit it too.
He
Could
just
two
needs to hit.
events. Yeah,
He just needs
Carlos
to hit
Nah.
needs
2
two
days
events.
then, right? Right. Like if he wins
It'd be
both
tight.
days,
Yeah, it'd be tight. So
It
he
should be
wins
the
both days.
same
That
with
would be 80, right? Or 79. If it's
I'm sorry. Say that again, Andrew. I was
so
looking at the
no, you get 25 points for first place, right? So if he gets 50
10.
points,
10.
10
per.
points
Yeah.
and then 11 for a record.
Okay,
Yes.
so 10. So yeah, so if he wins both days, that would be over 75.
And then I think max 1 should be around the same shape also, because
Yes.
Mark
Drew
and
Drew and
Drew.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. 60 and 6. Yeah, it's tight.
Mark's
Well,
driven
50
every
and
event this
That's
year.
a
50 and
that's a funny
42.
championship. That's
Yeah.
that's a who shows up championship. Mark could get that one just because
Yeah.
Drew's fucking lazy.
Well, that goes to show the power of, just show up.
Yeah. Attendance matters.
Yeah. 100%. And then there's one other. Like maybe it was max 5. Yeah, maybe it was max 5 and max 1 that could qualify this weekend. So
Max 4 is a ghost town this year.
Yeah. Max 4 is, although
everybody went to
Chase.
5.
Yeah, although Chase I think is a max 4 car.
Oh, that's right. He was just in there
out.
for competition reasons, right?
Yeah. Although I think Zach wants him to go up to max 2, so he has some competition. But I think Zach also has Ryan coming back here shortly, so maybe Zach will get some competition.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had another really fast time at Maine this year.
Peachy's time
in max 1, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty loony.
In cold, wet, like
it was pretty
non-optimal track. Like,
so I am actually surprised by this. I thought that a cold track in cold air meant the track wasn't going to have any grip at it at all. But like as soon as you I was on yokes, so it was a little different. But as soon as you let the tires come up to temperature, you drove the track as normal. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
So
well, Japanese time attack occurs during the off season too. They do it in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. But yeah, he dropped a 113.178.
It's insane. I didn't think like a production-based vehicle would run that.
What was Mac Lee's time? 11.7. So
11.7.
1.4 seconds away from a TA1 car,
which is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's our second fastest time on track.
So the interesting thing about Max 1 is that provided you're on the right tire, there's really no limit on what motor you can have, right? Like you could have a 1500 horsepower engine in theory, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the wisdom of running that on a non-slick tire aside, you could put in a monster motor in a car and go run, 170 mile an hour down the straight and get a 110. Like that's not impossible.
I don't even it's not what that braking event is like.
Yeah.
Geez, you're breaking it like the 7 board or something.
That time was fast. Like that's a pretty high horsepower car, but man, he was
wheeling it.
Yeah,
he was wheeling it. Yeah,
I'm sure we all watched the video, right?
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, so Max 1 is naturally aspirated 4-cycle engines of 3 liters and greater measured displacement.
Yeah.
with a minimum weight of 2,500 pounds.
Min 2,500.
Yeah. And then unmodified single unit forced induction engines between 4.5 and 6.4 liters. So yeah, you can make a monster motor in Max 1. And just rip on track.
What would a built K series turbo car on a 200 tread wear be? Would that be max?
Depends on how much the car weighs, right?
Max
built turbo?
Yeah, built K24 turbo.
Yeah, probably max 2.
Max 2?
No, because Trey's car, depending on how much it weighs, could either flip to 2 or 1. Is EG.
Oh, hold on. Let's look at the. Let me go to the.
Right,
sorry, I got to look at the.
Like in your car, Patrick, I think it would be 2.
Would it?
Yeah.
Let's see, max 5.
Yeah, because it would be a +3 bump like we discussed earlier, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Plus
build
two
motor,
is
force
+1.
induction,
Forced
and then-
induction is
Yeah.
+2.
Yeah.
So it's unmodified engines between 1.9 and 3 liters. So, I mean, to my knowledge, there's no K that's over 2.4 liters, right? So there's your starting point.
Yeah.
Build it with forged internals, and yeah, your max 4. Put a turbo on it, and your max 2. But yeah, then it depends on your weight. Then it
Trey
depends
says
on
it's
your
max
weight.
1.
Max 1.
Shouldn't Trey be driving?
I think he is. He's just listening.
I think he's passenger princess.
Oh, he's
Oh.
passenger princess today. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
What's he
which
say?
doesn't explain why he's not here. Which doesn't bode for him not being here.
Yeah. So in
Oh,
Max
is he
2,
driving?
the Max 2 rule is unmodified, modified, or added forced induction 4-cycle engines between 1.9 to 2.9 liters OE measured displacement with a minimum weight of 2,700 pounds.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why.
yeah, because it would be under that for
It'd
sure.
be down to that. Yep.
I believe.
Yeah.
Sure you do, Trey.
That 13 time is,
So fast.
it being so close to that 111 and like the fastest time, right? Like it just kind of puts that in perspective. That's a road legal car. I think Justin drives it
Mhm.
to a lot of events
Yeah.
too.
He does
Autocross.
he does autocross too, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Watching him and David come around turn 10 that weekend was so
amazing.
much fun.
Yeah.
They
It was
were flying.
I've never seen that much like corner speed and like just the velocity that they escape from the corner too. Like the cars just look.
Yeah. And
And
it made all the
Peach's
right
car
noises
sounds
too.
amazing. Yeah.
Peachy's car makes all the right noises.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it does. It does the LS7 howl very well.
Yeah.
Man, it's been such a cool year. We've seen so many fast times this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just thinking about that. Like every event we've been to, there's been some just like dumb time.
Yeah.
Now we got to do Dominion.
Now we got to
Now
do
we gotta
Dominion.
do
I got to
Dominion.
make up for last time. I was disappointed in myself last time.
Yeah,
I did not beat. It was the only time I've gone slower this year. Was
You
at
gotta-
the last Dominion. I gotta make up for that.
gotta make
Oh,
up.
then your fastest time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I blame Patrick for selling me the wrong tires.
What
What
tires
did
were you
that
running?
sound to you? Oh, I said a Bridgestones. I like the Bridgestones, man.
No. It wasn't that there were Bridgestones, it was that they were 255s. The 255s
Yeah, you're on a 9.
killed it.
You're
Yeah,
probably
no, it was a
4.
bad idea. That was a terrible, terrible mistake. So I got the right tire this time. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
You typically run 245?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have flex this time, so I should be less affected by the heat. And
Yeah.
we're going for
Yeah, it'll be hot.
high
Was it
30,
cold? Was it cold at
hopefully.
the first? Was it cold at
No.
the first Dominion event? Okay, because I wasn't able to
was
make it.
pretty normal feeling, I
Okay.
think. It was that first false spring we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
I
it's been
feel
a
like we've
weird
had many of those this year.
spring, summer, right? It hasn't even really like today was like pretty hot, and then we had one a couple weeks ago that was pretty hot.
I was just happy the 3-day didn't get rained out like it traditionally does.
me too.
Like the 3-day has traditionally been a monsoon, and then we get 20 minutes of good open track time on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-day looks like this past weekend's Mars looked like. You have that river that runs down turn 3 right through turn in point.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 where it's just like
8,
that massive puddle. So
I saw Chris Graham's time for one of the races, and I think
that was
in that
was a stupid
monsoon,
time.
he
That
ran
was such a
20.
stupid time.
In the monsoon, he ran a 20 flat, or like a 20, like a 20 point something.
He should be investigated for cheating.
That dude
He
is
shouldn't if he
fast,
wasn't,
dude.
but yeah, that is a
I
ridiculous.
want him to come drive TT just to like.
He did at Jefferson.
Yeah,
Did
he
he?
did last year.
He did?
Well, I can't remember if he was in TT or not, but he posted a time. I can't remember if it was a TT time or something else.
He's TT'd with us. Yeah, we got to get him out. We need to get him out more because he's fat.
That car's fast. He's fast. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be a good year. This Dominion event's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the regular Dominion stuff. We're gonna, host a movie. We're gonna have a campfire. We're gonna cook some good food.
Hell yeah. And
standard
then we're off for a month after that, right?
And we're off for a month. Yeah.
We're off for the summer. So we've got some time to work on cars and stuff. But then we've got a few, TT Nats events coming up also.
Y'all are going to CMP this weekend. Poconos in July.
Yeah. Pocono's going to be a lot of fun. We should have a big WDCR presence there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I know. I think that's McCrae's backyard, right? So hopefully he'll be there.
Yep. Be a good time.
Yeah, I hope he's there.
Nobody likes that July
event.
event.
The track.
July is such a hot event.
Yeah. Yeah. Poconos in the mountains, though, it should be a little cooler, right?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Either way,
make sure you get a nice hotel up there with a, the heart-shaped hot tub in your room.
Oh, of course.
Do they have those? Is that a thing in that area?
Oh, yes. Oh, you don't know this?
No, I don't. I've never been.
The Poconos are like a massive, like for Pennsylvania, like a huge, or was like back in the day, was a huge honeymoon spot. So yeah, like you go to the right hotels, like older hotels, like hot tubs in the room, like mirrors above the bed on the ceiling. Like
that seems like it would create a lot of humidity issues, but I really, really want to have that in my life. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Could you fit one in your transit van?
Man, we were talking about that the other day. I really need like a portable hot tub, but then like filling it.
Yeah.
And a large
hot
tub.
Inflate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, what if I build like a cauldron and just set it over a fire? It doesn't have to be like a ton of volume and water. It just needs to be hot. So I could essentially have like a big cast iron, like, bucket.
Are you going to boil people alive? Like,
No,
are we making human flesh soup here? Like, what's?
I mean,
slowest driver in each class each day gets put in the cauldron.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really appreciate a good hot bath. That's like my favorite thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Nothing feels as great as a hot tub.
Trey has a good idea. We could make pit race a points event. The Nationals event.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
That's a little unfair short notice. Like I think that's something that has to be discussed.
That would be like
because that could really mess up somebody's budget. Yeah. Like if I wasn't already going to that, and to think that if I was, trying to win my championship, right, and then I had to budget to drive. How far is it to pit from here? Like
3 hours.
Where's here? Durham is
Durham, North Carolina. It's a long.
Oh yeah, from drive. You. Sorry, I said 3 hours. I was thinking for me.
That'd be a huge chunk of.
We have less drops this year, Trey.
Yeah, we have less drops.
Yeah, and we've talked about this for a few years, right? Of having like an event, like a co-event with another region, right? And I'm not opposed to it. My issue as I have thought about it with that idea is, one, we have so many events as is, like it's hard, it's hard. Like you said, it's hard for other people to like, get that into their calendar already.
We have a ton of events.
Yeah. I think most regions probably have like 3, 4, maybe 5 if they're lucky.
I mean, think about the money in tires and brakes that you have to do to win our championship. It's a lot.
Yeah.
If you're out to win, you're bringing sticker yokes every event, right?
Yeah, at least every other event for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money to wrap up a WDCR season.
Yeah. I don't hate the idea though, Trey.
Without a tire contingency.
We'll see if we can figure something out. I'm sorry, what's that, Patrick?
But speaking of, there is a national tire contingency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think
V-Tours.
Is that through V-Tour?
And then the Hawk.
Is it V-Tour? Is that the correct pronunciation? V-Tour? V-Tour. Yeah, P1. The not illegal tire anymore.
No, well, I don't know. I appreciate the contingency aspect of it, but I'm not convinced they're faster than a yoke at all. Nobody's gone faster on them versus a yoke.
I want to try it.
The yokes are stupid fast.
Yeah, they're fast. I like the idea of more laps though, because I have a really hard time just doing it in like 2 laps. And
Yeah,
like,
I mean
same.
that's why I've always used the 730 and the CRS because I'm in a slow Miata, so you guys catch me in 3 or 4 laps. So laps 4, 5, 6 for me are kind of throwaways until I can get traffic around me, and then I go back at it.
Yeah, see, that's the other part too. You really now only have like 3 laps before the field now is catching the back of the field.
I mean, at that first event in March on Main,
Oh,
like
it was
there were
silly.
times where they were catching them in 2 laps.
2
Like,
laps.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how fast those guys were.
Yeah.
So,
Patrick,
right.
how do you square the circle of your idea for sort of the open lapping thing you were talking about, right? Versus
Yeah. So
not being able to get it done and needing more than 2 laps or something.
how do I square it? What do you mean? How do I square it?
So in your ideal open lapping scenario, right? Like where you go
Yeah.
out, are you doing out lap fire in, or are you out for as long as you want?
I'm out for like it can be. It's just open track, right? Like the
Okay.
marshal's there, he just sends you out when it's open. So
Okay.
as a person, I'd wait until like the people are like I see a relatively empty track, like maybe there's just 1 or 2 people out there, and then that I go out, and then I probably turn 5 laps depending on the tire I'm on, right? And then after if I can't get it done, then I just pull it in for a while. I make my adjustments, and then in a world where we don't have like it's just an open track all day,
Right.
right? I can
Yeah.
pull it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
and make some adjustments.
Yeah.
I relax, I cool down, or view some footage, and then I go back out in like an hour and try again.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm envisioning in my head of like ultimate TT.
Yeah. 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 All right. Cool.
Well, we're at 56 minutes, guys.
Yep.
We want
I
to
don't
start
have
wrapping
anything
up?
else. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I gotta finish putting my car together and cook some food.
Yeah.
It's the never-ending story. We're always putting
Yeah.
our cars together.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this was a good show. It's been a great season. I think we
Yes.
have a great season ahead. I think we got Dominion, then a month off to kind of recoup, refresh, do some work on our cars, and then I think it's gonna be a lot of fun on the back end of the season.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Dominion. We made a lot of really good growth at this event. This first
Yep.
event season was the biggest Dominion event like ever.
I haven't looked at the numbers yet for
by a
this
large
event. I
by
gotta
a
take
large
a look.
landslide. So, hopefully we can keep the steam rolling. I'm really looking forward to Dominion.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend.
Yeah, it is.
And my kids get out of school tomorrow, so I'll have Chase with me as well. So
Nice. That's always
coming
better.
out with me for the rest of the summer, which will be fun.
Yep.
So
All right, fellas. I'll see
Yeah.
y'all then.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
See you
Yep.
soon. Have a
Yeah,
good night,
see you soon.
guys.